Right, well I said we'd do his Albrecht next. So we're on the next day. I actually start recording this at 11:30 in the morning. I've managed to get through my morning church service quicker than I anticipated. I must have played the organ too fast. Now he sent some service data with this, probably because we wouldn't be likely to have any. So hopefully we can make sense of that. Unfortunately, my experience with all the Albrecht sets like these, the Swish one shall we say, is that they come out of the factory really set up poorly. And some of the, well, most of the radios we've bought brand new, and a couple of ones we bought second hand, like this one on the left, which I'm going to show you as well, and have been just as bad. So I don't know what's about. I think we did quite a low in the range one, really basic set, and that worked all right, but these high-end ones don't seem to work very well as they come out of the factory. So we'll see how this tunes up. So the thing about this is this a splittable front one? Mine's a splittable front one. Is it the same radio? I don't know. 6890, 6790. So this one is what we would call in the two-way radio trade extended local remote. So this is where you have the control head on a cable, stick that somewhere convenient, but it looks totally different front to the customer's one. So I will just see if I've got the manual for this, and we'll do this another time. I've been putting this off for months and months and months. I've just had so much on. Serial number 15, that's an early one. So that's something which we'll explore at another point. So we'll do the customer's one. So it's not a splittable head one on this. Software bug in production. Anyway, we'll worry about that as we come to it. So I think what we'll do at this point is we'll connect it up, and we'll just see how the thing's performing as it is. So he said, now I think his measuring's a little on the low side, because when we did the Kerno Beta 1100 yesterday, it was 2.8, 2.9 watts. And he had it down at 2.25. So if he tested this at 2.5 watts, this is probably about 3.2. So we'll see. Yeah, we will see. Who's last on channel 31? Has he been trying to talk to us from Leeds? Okay, how do we work the Squelch? Anyone any ideas? Oh, is it one of these where we have to press a button? Or does it become... No, that's channel. This is one of the things which is hateful about radios like this. I'm going to have to look at the instruction book to see how the Squelch works, because we need it in manual Squelch mode. Adjusting the squelch. There is a common rotary knob, and it's the volume and the squelch. You press the volume knob and then you turn it. It's second function. There we go. Simple as that. But of course it's not really continuous because it's digital, isn't it? So we'll see how that works out when we get our teeth into this. I shouldn't have to look things like that up. It should be obvious. Right, we'll plug it into the test set. Made in Korea. Plug it into the speaker into the test set. And after a short delay, it did some transmitting. Now, for some reason, my entire second camera channel isn't on. So, I'll go and investigate, that's the word. Right, well, it's on now. So, we'll select picture in picture. And I'll get out of my chair to make sure it's selected, not in the right position. There it is. So we'll put this on low power, the test set. So I'll go on the 3 watt range, and we'll key up, and it's doing about 3 watts. So we'll go over to the 30 watt range, and it's doing just a smidging under 3 watts. So we'll add to his piece of paper Albrecht AE6890, and again we'll call it 3 watts. Let's look at deviation. Wallow 2.2, it looks like it's right. I'll check that, but it looks right. Frequency. Test set's only been on 10 minutes, so we wouldn't adjust it yet. It's slightly high. We'll see what that says. I'll make a note. Now here comes the receive. So switch the cyanide meter on. Okay. So we'll now have to release the squelch. Don't worry about the test set hissing. Right, so it's 1 microvolt for 12 dB cyanide. So if we look at yesterday's Kerno Beta 1100, it came in at 0.56 microvolt, and it, by the time we'd done, it was 0.37. So the lower the signal, the better. So this has come in at 1 microvolt, which is fair enough, but it's not good. Certainly not as good as the Kerno. Right, we'll open it up and we'll take it from there. Right, so because this is an 80 channel set, we'll be, I don't know how you get it into the EU band from here. I really can't see that. I've tried pressing, sometimes on sets you press AM FM and it goes into the EU sets of channels, but this doesn't. Obviously it won't let you go into AM on the UK set of channels because it's FM only. So what else can we say? During switch on, we need to press the megs button, which is there. Well, that didn't do anything. Let's try again. Release the power button, release the megs button. Yep, there we go. So we can then select the country which we want. Now we're going to be doing AM on this just to make sure it's been set right. He hasn't asked me to, perhaps he uses UK only, but I will do the set to its capability. So for now we're going to do it on, I think we'll do it on EC. It's EU, isn't it? We want EU. And then it gives us AM and FM. So then what do we do? Press the megs button. So we'll be tuning this set on, now let's just select AM or FM, which is what we need to do. Squelch. Volume. So we're going to do this set on channel 40 of the EU. Then it's in the middle of the band. So just for those who don't realise that the EU set of channels is 26965 to 27405. So we'd either do the tune up either on channel 40 of the CPT band, which is this, or we'll do it on channel 1 of the UK band, which starts at 27.60125 and goes up to 27.99125. So that way we're in the middle of the band. If he'd have said to me, I only ever use this on the UK set of channels, then we'd have done as we normally do and set it up on channel 20 of the UK set of channels. And if he'd said to me, well, I only ever use the EU set of channels, we'd have done it on channel 20 of the EU set. We've got to take a compromise, and we'll do that by setting it up on channel 40, just as we could have used it channel 1 of the UK band. By doing it on this band, we're not faffing around between the two sets of channels, because I want to do AM and set that up at the same time. So there we go, and we will start by looking at the circuit diagram, because there's no words on here to tell us what does what. So I'll come back to this when I've worked something out. Right, it's late afternoon and I've been doing other things, but I've also run off a copy of the layout here, and I've been marking a few coils, and I've been looking at the circuit diagram to help me do that. So let's see whether we can get into transmit. So we want to be on channel 40 of Euro, so we'll just put that on channel 40. There we go. We want to turn the squelch down. And now we want to turn the volume down so it doesn't annoy me. So is picture in picture on? It is. So we're going to go into transmit, and we're going to check that transformer 9, 10, 11 and TK1 are peaked. Like a lot of modern sets, this takes about half a second to go into transmit. Right, Right, so that seems to be peaked. Now we need to, there is a power preset. And it's VR4. And it's just down here. It'll actually go up to 4.8 watts. So at 4 watts, I'll just make sure these are peaked once again. Yeah. Right, so that's that. So the next thing I'm going to do, there will be an an RF meter on the front, but it isn't adjustable. It's a BS meter. And the first word of that is bull. The S meter is adjustable, but the RF meter isn't. I could bet my bottom dollar that if you took the output transistor out of this, it would still say you were transmitting at full power. So, oh yeah, we're going to check its on frequency if that's adjustable. Yes, it looks like it is. So it's slightly high. The customer thought it was slightly low, but no, it is slightly low, he's right. My test set wasn't one, but was it when we initially looked? There we go, 27,405.01, and I'm not even showing it you. 27,405, that's where we want to be. So we'll look at deviation, but I think it was spot on. I'm going to have to retune my deviation meter because we're not on the normal frequency. Wallow, 1 2 1 2, wallow, 1 2. I think we can bring that up a bit. And deviation is this one. So I'm going to take that to 2 and just see where that is with the old whistle test. Wallow, that's actually too high. Wallow, 1 2 1 2, wallow. That's it. I'll put that on one side because we're going to go to AM now, and I'll do it immediately. So we're currently in FM. Press the mode switch. Switch the test equipment to AM, and let's look at modulation. Oh, it's like that, is it? I'll just unplug the extension speaker. Wallow, 1 2, wallow. That's dreadful, actually. That really does need to come up. So AM modulation is there. So we'll switch the little tone generator on again. So it was with the whistle test, it was doing, it was doing about 42%. You can get away with anything over 45, but CB, the people like it to be much higher than that. Wallow, 1 2 1 2, wallow. So what's that brought it up to? It's brought it up to about 70%. I'll just see what the power is in AM, because it's independently adjustable. The speaker's got back in. So it's doing 1 watt. And we're now permitted to do 4 watts. Because these radios were made before 2014. We should be able to adjust it to 4 watts with this preset here. There we go, 4 watts it is. So we're going to go back to modulation because that might have been a flawed test with it being, but it might now do less modulation. Wallow, no, it needs to come down. Okay. Wallow, 1, 2, wallow. Let's still take it down a bit. Wallow, 1, 2, 1, 2, wallow. So it's about 90% now. Peaking at about 95%. So that's AM setup. That's the transmitter setup. And again, I'm showing you all the wrong meters. So just show you once again. 1, 2, wallow. So it's going right over to the 90%. So it's fluctuating is the word I'm looking for, round here, which is the 70%, and our 90% is there, which is what it's achieving, which is better than when it was before I adjusted it at 50 something. Right, so we'll look at receive. Plug my speaker back in. Tell you what, that modulation transformer's got warm. So I'm going to go back to FM. It would be easy to tune it up on AM, but I'm set up to do things FM, so I'll be using the Synad meter. And with AM you can tune it up on recovered audio. So all you need is a audio millivolt meter across the speaker, and you can just tune it up that way. But we'll do it with the Synad meter, and we'll do it FM. So we want 27405. Again, I'm having to retune the signal generator because we're normally doing it on channel 20 of UK, and we're doing it on channel 40 of EU channels. And make sure we're in FM. There we go. So we're going to start by doing our usual thing and checking the detector. Now, I'm not sure whether Transformer 5 or Transformer 6 is the FM detector, and we're soon going to find out. So we'll switch to the appropriate camera, and I'll put an S9 signal on. Yeah, right. And we'll see which one's the detector. So it's either 5 or 6. Wow, that's improved it. So let's see whether 6 improves it. No, it doesn't. So we're going to switch to AM. Switch to AM on the radio. And see whether this affects AM. And the answer is yes, it does. So we've now got maximum recovered audio FM and AM. So FM, AM. So we'll switch back to FM. Switch back the radio to FM. And now we'll do a tune-up. So we'll go over to the Synad meter now. So we want it about 4 decibels. May as well put the bench light back on, I might be able to see what I'm doing then. So I've come to the conclusion it's 1, 2, 3, 4 in that order. Let's see whether we can get anything better out of it. The answer is yes. Turn the attenuator back a bit. Little bit on that one. Next one. and finally this one. So I'm just going to check once again that we're at peak. Yep, we're at peak. Let's read off what we now have for sensitivity. Well, we've got quite an improvement. We're now at 0.45 of a microvolt. So before, it was 1 microvolt, which is there. So that's now, it's not quite 20 dB, but it's about 19. Let's see where 20 dB is. 20 dB is at 1.3 microvolts. So if we look, we did that basic Kerno Beta 1100 yesterday. I didn't write it down, but I can assure you that it was doing exactly 1 microvolt for 20 dB. So this is doing 1.3 microvolts. And we got 0.56, and let's go back on this one, see where we are for 12. So 0.45 microvolts. So we've done that, and let's see what it is for 10. For 10 dB, it's 0.35 microvolts. So if you look at this, we got 0.37 out of that Kerno. We've got 0.45. So Kerno is the more sensitive one, but this is a vast improvement. I don't think it would have done very well around Scratchy Corner as it was. Now we'll go back to an S9 signal, and we'll switch to the attenuators. It goes on about the S meter, but it's not calibrated. It's just this silly display. So if I turn down the signal generator, there's no calibration at all. It is totally meaningless. There's no point adjusting it. It looks like it's left over off a stereo. So, if you felt that you wanted to adjust the S meter, it's there. But adjust it to what? Now, is there a Squelch preset? The answer is no. So we'll see how the Squelch performs. So we'll do our usual thing. I'm going to turn the Squelch to full. That's top of the shop. And it shows on that display. So let's see when it comes in. It's coming in about 3 millivolts, which is higher than I would want it. Let's look at it at the sensitive end. So I'm going to park the signal generator at 0.3 of a microvolt and switch it to standby. So we'll drop this Squelch till we get threshold. No, that's volume, it's gone out of it. So there's threshold. Switch the signal generator on. It's trying to come in at 1 microvolt. So it's 1.1 microvolt for the Squelch minimum, and it cuts off at 0.95 of a microvolt. So it's not that sensitive, and it's not that good hysteresis. But I've no doubt it works alright. Then it's got an auto Squelch, I think. Yes, it has. So press ASQ. Let's see where that is. So we'll do that test again, switch the signal generator back on. This time with auto Squelch it's 0.75 of a microvolt, and it's 0.68 for it to come back in. So it actually works better on auto Squelch at the sensitive end than it does on manual. And that's because it's not continuously variable. Because it's digital, it's in steps. And so you don't have that fine adjustment which you would with a normal squad control that isn't digital. So there we go, we're done. So quite a vast improvement. And we've done the AM as well, because the customer didn't tell me otherwise. So we'll put that together. It's got these little electric mics that lights up and glows in the dark. Where did I put the lid? Now this is going to be fun to switch on. I'm going to switch off. If I can remember where the on and off switch is. I'll tell you what we're going to do. We're also going to see what the sensitivity is like on UK channels. Because remember we've set it in the middle, haven't we? Do I need to get some faucets or something to get that into there? There we go. So I know I did the other one yesterday and we're supposed to be only doing one set a week, but we've got a bit of a backlog, and so this is why I'm doing this on a Sunday, just to get through it. We've got an Amstrad 901 next, then after that we've got a different customer's set, and it's a Midland Porter Pack. Can't say I like self-tappers in cases. So now we're going to have to reprogram it for UK. So switch it on with something. I can't remember which we switched on with. Was it channel 9? Nope. Whoa, 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 that's reset. I don't want to do that. Perhaps it's done it. Okay, back to the instruction book. No, that's the service manual. Here's the instruction book. It's the megahertz button. Anyway, we just learnt that channel 9 is reset. Yep, that's it, UK. So we'll go to channel 20 and we'll set the signal generator for UK channel 20. So I'm going to make it clear that that test was UK, this test was CPT, so that was channel 20, that was 40, so we're going to test it again, UK 20. There we go. Let's look at that cyanide meter again. So now what have we got? So for UK, we've now got 0.6 of a microvolt. So whatever way we look at that, I've tuned it for the centre of the band. So channel 40 CPT or channel 1 UK is the optimum, and before I tested it on channel 20 UK, it was 1 microvolt. Now it's 0.6 microvolts, so it's still a vast improvement. We'll just check it's doing 4 watts. It's actually doing 4.1, but it will soon drop down. There's 4.05, and as I keep the mic keyed, it's just a smidging over 4, so we've not got a problem there. I'm going to tune the deviation back to where we normally have it. Wallow, 1 2 1 2 wallow. There we go. Good. So we're done. I'll just go to its internal speaker, and we'll just plug the roof aerial in, which I will say once again is an Antron 99 type fiberglass half-wave aerial, mounted at gutter level on a single-storey building, and fed with high grade but thin cable. And we do get 35 miles on this in our good direction. So we'll keep the squelch down for a moment. 19 Roger. Well, that one isn't going to get us anything. You have to turn this 2 notches for it to change channel. And it takes about a second to lock. I still can't work out why they just sit talking on 19 all day. Right, so there we go. Thanks for watching the Albrecht AE6890, tuned up AM and FM and in the centre of the 80 available channels. So I think they're about 2007 these, and that's why we had to adjust the AM, which is now available in 4 watts, really for post 2014 sets. We'll do a scratchy corner test later on with Mr. Chippy.